welcome back to my channel, and I hope you enjoy this video. Today we're going to be doing a little history video on Abraham Lincoln and his step to the Manchester people. If you all can't tell by the accent, I'm from Manchester in England, and this is one of the things that make me so proud to be from Manchester. We, the working men and women going far back into the 1800s, they had a big part in ending slavery across the world, and they basically put their own lives on pause to fulfill this movement. They starved, they went without new clothes, they went without paying their bills, and they should always be remembered for that sacrifice that they did, even though that problem was an ocean apart from them, and that they was just the normal people just working in a factory. That what they did was help change the world, and even Abraham Lincoln himself recognised that. So I'm going to read this article to you guys. It is like nearly 6 years old, but this story is like over 100 years old. So I hope you enjoyed the article. I will add it into the description if you want to read it yourself later on. So got a lovely picture there. Abraham Lincoln's step to Manchester, how we help US President to abolish slavery. Today marks the 150th anniversary of the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln, famed for his pivotal role in the abolition of slavery. However, little attention is given these days to his eternal token of gratitude to the working people of Manchester. Just off the sprawling Albert Square is the smaller, easily missed Lincoln Square, which bears a statue of the 16th President of the United States. Beneath it is inscribed a letter to the people of Manchester, commending them for a historic act of solidarity against the slave trade. Amid the cotton embargo, in which Lincoln convinced European importers to install a blockade preventing the shipping of slave-picked cotton, Lancashire and its workers suffered great personal hardship, with many out of work and unable to feed their families. The aim for Lincoln was to outmaneuver the Confederate States, win the Civil War, and ultimately abolish the US slave trade. But Manchester and the surrounding area, which had once clothed the world, found 60% of its mills falling idle, largely as a result of the blockade. Mill and shipping companies lobbied for the blockades to be destroyed, and in cities as nearby as Liverpool, opposition to the embargo and support for the Confederacy mounted. There was a big support for the Confederacy in Liverpool. Let's move on. But in a meeting at Manchester Free Trade Hall in 1862, in a show of defiance despite potential starvation and destitution, workers agreed to maintain support for Lincoln and the embargo. In 1863, the cotton industry crashing down, Lincoln himself penned a letter to the working men of Manchester, praising what he called sublime Christian and heroism, which has not been surpassed in any age or in any country. US aid ships followed the letter to the shores of the Northwest, offering relief to starving mill workers and gestures of gratitude. So this is how grateful Lincoln himself was, guys, to the people of Manchester. He realised that all that they had lost to help him in his fight, and he sent them help and relief to help the mill workers, to help them with the fight for what they've done for him. And you know, this is just amazing that he managed to, he was so grateful to him. I will read his letter to the Manchester people in a minute. I just want to read this little article and then we'll move on. In January 1865, months before Lincoln's assassination, US Congress passed the 13th Amendment. Slavery throughout the United States was officially abolished. Soon after, as the US Constitution was being rewritten, the Confederate States, which had been crippled by the embargo, were being eliminated by Union forces. By the time the South surrendered, Manchester's derelict mills were being swept ready for the city to begin the daunting process of reigniting its once glorious industrial flame. Manchester is well and truly an industrial city. That is why we have the symbol of the bee to symbolise our city, because we have the working bee. So there's a little factory in case you didn't know. In Manchester, we have the symbol of the working bee to symbolise our industrial city there. By the time the South surrendered, Manchester... Oh, I've already read that bit. Let's carry on. But Manchester's roots of the fight against human rights abuse and slavery in particular predates even Lincoln's birth. In 1787, leading British abolitionist Thomas Clarkson gave a speech at what is now Manchester Cathedral. Having been met with animosity in Liverpool, he was given as much warm welcome in Manchester and assisted positioned itself at the value of the anti-slavery movement here in the UK. So we're going to go and head over to the letter there, guys, in Abraham Lincoln's letter to the working men of Manchester. So keep tuned. 1 second. Hello guys, and this is a letter I'll read out for you, and I will leave the link in the description so you can check that out yourself as well after the video. And it's an amazing letter, and yeah, well, let's get to it. Lincoln's letter to the working men of Manchester, England. Executive Mansion, Washington, January 19, 1863. To the working men of Manchester. I have the honour to acknowledge the receipt of the address and resolutions which you sent to me on the eve of the new year, when I came on the 4th of March 1861 through a free and constitutional election to preside in the government of the United States. The country was found at the verge of civil war. Whatever might have been the cause or whosever the fault, one duty paramount to all others was before me, namely to maintain and preserve at once the Constitution and the integrity of the Federal Republic. A conscientious purpose to perform this duty is a key to all the measures of administration which have been and to all which will hereafter be pursued. Under our frame of government and my official oath, I could not depart from this purpose if I would. It is not always in the power of governments to enlarge or restrict the scope of moral results, which follow the policies that they may deem it necessary for the public safety from time to time to adopt. I have understood well that the duty of self-preservation rests solely with the American people, but I have at the same time been aware that favour or disfavour of foreign nations might have a material influence in enlarging or prolonging the struggle with disloyal men in which the country is engaged. A fair examination of history has served to authorise a belief that the past actions and influences of the United States were generally regarded as having been beneficial towards mankind. I have, therefore, reckoned upon the forbearance of nations, circumstances to some of which you kindly allude, induce me especially to expect that if justice and good faith should be practiced by the United States, they would encounter no hostile influence on the part of Great Britain. It is now a pleasant duty to acknowledge the demonstration you have given of your desire that a spirit of amity and peace towards this country may prevail in the councils of your Queen, who is respected and esteemed in your own country only more than she is by the kindred nation which has its home on the side of the Atlantic. I know and deeply deplore the sufferings with the working men of Manchester and in all Europe are called to endure in this crisis. It has been often and studiously represented that the attempt to overthrow this government, which was built upon the foundation of human rights, and to substitute for it one which should rest exclusively on the basis of human slavery, was likely to obtain the favour of Europe. Through the action of our disloyal citizens, the working men of Europe have been subjected to severe trials for the purpose of forcing their sanction to that attempt. Under circumstances, I cannot but regard your decisive utterance upon the question as an instance of sublime Christian heroism, which has not been which has not been surpassed in any age or in any country. It is indeed an energetic and re-aspiring assurance of the inherent power of truth and the ultimate and universal triumph of justice, humanity and freedom. I do not doubt that the sentiments you have expressed will be sustained by your great nation, and on the other hand, I have no hesitation in assuring you that they will excite admiration, esteem, and the most reciprocal feelings of friendship among the American people. I hail in this interchange of sentiment, therefore, as an argument that whatever else may happen, whatever misfortune may befall your country or my own, the peace and friendship which now exists between the two nations will be, as it shall be, my desire to make them perpetual. Abraham Lincoln. Submitted by Captain Gary Holman, Federal Staff. There we go, guys. So, as you could see there, Abraham was just so thankful to the working men of Manchester, who did lose jobs, who did lose homes, who did miss out on food and miss out on clothes and a warm bed to sleep at night. They put everything to the side to help fight the good fight. So hopefully today you've learned something new, and if you've enjoyed this video, guys, leave a like, and if you're not already, then please subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.